Army versus the Navy. Army versus Navy, America's biggest rivalry, representing the fiercest in football. While not the oldest gridiron rivalry, the battle between the middies and cadets is one of the country's most intense. It is America's favorite, always played to capacity crowds, drawn not only by the fine football, but by the wonderful shows, the marching of the future generals and admirals, the high jinks. Everyone in America has a rooting interest because the academies at West Point, New York, and Annapolis, Maryland, belong to all the people. Here are some high spots in the biggest of big games. It's the 1st of December, 1951, time for the 52nd Army-Navy game. There's Hannibal, the Army mascot, and Billy the 12th, complete with football helmet. And now for the game. Army, a big underdog today, kicks off. Kirk Cockrell recovers for the cadets. Navy holds the cadets, and quarterback Mike Santino hands off to Vic Vine for a 13-yard voyage to Army's 38. Several plays later, Vine from the single wing sweeps right end down to Army's 3-yard line. Jack Perkins, 210-pounder from Layton, Utah, blasts over for the first tally of the day. Navy's kickoff results in more trouble for the cadets. They fumble. Navy recovers on the Army 26. The middies waste no time. Mike Santino lofts one of Frank Brady in the end zone, and the Navy leads 14-0. Now it's Army ball. Quarterback Fred Meers hands off to John Wing. The Dayton, Kentucky speedster gets to Navy's 6. Keep your eyes open on this one. You're going to see Army-Navy history made. Fred Meers' pass is intercepted by Navy's John Raster, 1 yard in the end zone. And there he goes. 101 yards with an intercepted pass to score, an Army-Navy record. And again, the Midshipmen are menacing. From the Army 27, Vic Vine speeds outside right end for 12 yards. Coach Eddie Erdelat's well-drilled 11 goes to the tee now. Santino passes. A great catch by Midshipman Dean Smith. That sets up Navy's 4th TD. Trailing 28-0, the cadets move the ball in the second half. Fred Meers picks up 9 to Navy's 32-yard line. From the 8, Army's Freddie Attea gets a first down on the Navy 4. Freddy Mears, a 178-pounder from Enid, Oklahoma, fights his way over for Army's first and only score of the day, a black day for the cadets. Relentlessly, the middies attack again. Vic Vine steaming for 14 yards. From the tee again. Again Santino, and again Dean Smith catching, and again a Navy tally. That makes it 35-7. With only seconds left, Fred Meers goes back to pass. He's rushed, and he's hit, and there's a fumble. Recovered in the end zone by Navy for its 6th score, and Navy wins 42-7. The year before, 1950, the game was closer. Army had not been beaten by Navy since 1943. The middies are mighty anxious to end this streak of 5 victories and 1 tie. Quarterback Bob Blake laterals to Husky Gil Stevenson, who gets 5 yards to Navy's 15. Blake passing. Almost intercepted by Navy's Les Etchison in the end zone, and Navy takes over. Here, quarterback Bob Zastro springs fullback Fred Bannerman loose outside end. He's knocked out of bounds on the 50 in front of the Navy bench. Zastro jump passes. Intercepted by Hal Lowline. An 11-yard run back, too. Now Blake's pitch out to Al Pollard goes astray. Blake, Army quarterback, is the son of Army coach Earl Blake. Navy recovers. Bob Zastro goes back to pass. Fires to Frank Houff, who falls on the Army 7. Zastro, nicknamed Zug, lugs it over himself. He has to fight all the way, but he makes it, and Navy leads 7-0. The next time Navy has the ball, Zastro zigzags for 11 more yards. This time, the Algoma, Wisconsin senior lets his right halfback do the honors. Bill Powers obliging by sailing to Army's 30. Now Midshipman Zastro can't make up his mind between running and passing. He finally tosses, a good choice because Jim Baldinger grabs it for Navy's second marker. Deep in his own territory, Zastro laterals to fullback Fred Franco, but he's stopped on Navy's 13. So Zastro tries a pass. But a pair of charging cadets change his plans. They nab him in the end zone for a safety. A few plays later, Navy has to punt. Bob Cameron's boot is blocked by Big Chuck Shira and recovered by Elmer Stout of Army. The cadet cheering is short-lived, though. Big Al Pollard gets nowhere. Army gets tricky, but it doesn't work. Blake hands to Frank Fischel. A left-handed pass gets batted back by a Navy defender. Who's got the ball? But it doesn't matter. The game's over and Navy wins 14-2. Let's hop back to one of Army's greatest days, November 29th, 1947. A pre-game stunt. The Army cadet, when jabbed, produces a belly full of balloons. Navy in white this year. Bob Horn carries on a bootleg play, 10 yards to Navy's 45. The Crabtown crew continues rolling with Big Bill Hawkins running outside. He gets to midfield. Horn, who's calling a fine game, takes to the air now. A good one to Hawkins on the Army 33. But that's as far as Navy can get now. From his own 31, Bobby Jack Stewart picks up 4 yards. A few plays carried to Navy's 32. Now quarterback Arnold Galiffa fakes beautifully. And that's Rip Rowan rolling for 10 yards more. Watch this one closely. A direct snap to Rowan. A Rowan to Bill Kellum pass means touchdown for Army. A great play. In the second quarter, the mighty Army infantry is marching again. That's Winfield Scott scooting for 28 yards. Galiffa hands off to Stewart again. Bobby Jack streaks to the 15. It's fumbled and recovered by Mike Gerber on the midi 8. The Navy steams out of its own territory on this play. A Bob Horn to Art Markell quick pass for 22 big yards. Now Horn gets set for a long heave. Complete to Dave Ritterhoff, good for 1st and 10 on Army's 22. The middies get something else to cheer about. That's Al McCulley zooming to Army's 11-yard line. But penalties move the middies back to the 20. Now it's 4th down. Horn to Markle is good, but not enough for a first down. It's Army ball. Watch this perfectly executed play. The longest run in Army-Navy history. Rip Rowan rips for 92 yards from scrimmage to score. Army leads 14-0. Arnold Galiffa, Denora, Pennsylvania cadet, looks for a receiver. And he finds one. A great catch by Kellum. Navy's charging forwards break through. Bobby Jack Stewart is thrown for a 10-yard loss. So the Navy takes over. Horn laterals to Bob Schwefman, but the play loses 2 yards. Again, Schwefferman gets the ball and goes. He goes for a 7-yard gain. But that Navy cheering is short-lived. Mike Gerber tries his arm. John Trent, a Memphis cadet, grabs it for Army's third touchdown. Cadets 21, Midshipmen nothing. And Army's looking for still more. Galiffa passes to Kellum, a great combination this afternoon. Galiffa hands off on this play, and Rowan rumbles like an Army tank for 5 yards. Army's Santino makes more like a Jeep. He gallops 25 yards to the Navy 35. But Navy gets the ball and makes one desperate last try to avoid a shutout. Mike Gerber picks up 10 yards. From the Navy 23, Al McCullough goes running for 7 yards, and time is running out. Bob Horn scurries back. He finally finds a man free. It's Roy Russell, and Navy moves into Army territory. But the game's not over. There's still time for one play. The Middies still have a play left. Navy shifts. Horn passes to Ben Moore, complete, but it makes no difference. Now the game is over. Army wins 21-0 for its fourth straight in America's greatest football rivalry.